What was your I need to learn to keep my mouth shut moment? I occasionally help my friend with information technology issues at his job, even though I did not work there. My friend told me their information technology. People did not know what they were doing and that I should apply for a job opening they had. For some reason during the interview I mentioned that my friend told me they did not know what they were doing. I said that to the heads of information technology. Somehow I did not get the job. I was 16, working at a fried chicken restaurant. I had a good rapport with the 40-year-old or older fry cook, who I later learned introduced himself as Skinhead Ed outside of work. But that is a different story. We had a corporate visit, and he got flagged for not positioning chicken in a certain pattern in the fry racks. He was having a weirdly emotional response to the feedback, so I was trying to joke around with him and get the vibes back to normal. But he could not let go of this chicken situation. He was flipping through the fryer instruction flip chart that is hanging above the fryers over and over again. Finally, I was like, this man is spiraling. What is going on? So I walked back again and I showed him where the pattern was mentioned and pictured in the flip chart and jokingly said, "Well, damn, Ed. It is right here. Can you not read?" I had never seen a white man get so red so fast. He screamed, "As a matter of fact, I fucking cannot," and stormed out the door to the dumpster to smoke. I have never felt like a bigger piece of shit than I did on that day in that Kentucky Fried Chicken fry pit. I followed him out and we smoothed it over. And I helped him with phonics and reading for like a year before I left that job. He improved a bit and was grateful. We would read in the dumpster or on the tailgate of his truck. Super nice guy. I liked him a lot until the Skinhead Ed nickname surfaced when I ran into him a few years later in the wild. The first time I was handling a regulatory audit as the lead representative. We were doing well and the inspector was ready to wrap it up. I was feeling a bit overconfident and mentioned something innovative we were doing that the inspector had not inquired about. That piqued the auditor's interest and extended the audit by half a day. Everything was still great, but I would have rather been doing anything else than spending that extra time with the inspector. Lesson learned. Answer yes or no when possible, answer open-ended questions as concisely as possible, and never volunteer any information the auditor did not ask for. I was just starting out professionally. I was deadly afraid to say no or talk back. A total people pleaser. Later, I gained experience and learned to push back. I used to tell my boss I was finally confident enough to tell my boss to go fuck themselves. And as luck would have it, I had one that I got along with great. Apparently, I was overcompensating. I had an interaction where I asked someone for some mundane thing, and they panicked and escalated to a threat with 10 people, including 3 managers. I stood my ground and was technically right. My boss gave me a talking to later along the lines of, "I want to promote you at some point. Walk the line between standing up for yourself and being an asshole." Years ago, I supervised several information technology staff, a mix of about 50% men and 50% women. I had had countless conversations with them about their families and the events in their lives, so I was pretty confident about what I knew. Each of the married employees were all in rock-solid marriages. Not typical, I know, but the families were drama-free. Periodically, flowers would show up for my various female employees. Invariably because it was a birthday, anniversary, or just because. Knowing the employees were in good marriages, I would jokingly ask, "Okay, what did he do?" They would usually smile, giggle, and reply it was a birthday, anniversary, or just because. One employee's husband worked their farm while she held her full-time job at my organization. One day she had a vase with a dozen roses, and I asked my standard, "So, what did he do?" question, expecting it was her anniversary or something. She then proceeded to tell me a horrible story that ended with her saying the words, "And then he sucked my favorite dog up into the combine." For those who do not know, a combine is a large piece of farm machinery that harvests things like corn and wheat died, of course, in this horrible farming accident. The dog did not survive. I never asked that question again. When I was in the military many years ago, a sergeant walks up to our platoon and says, "I need 3 bodies." And my dumbass goes, "What for?" Then he responds, "I need 2 more bodies," laughing my ass off. I spent my entire Friday on a working party and did not get back to the barracks until 10 that night. It is a lesson that has stuck with me ever since. When I was in my late teens, a long time ago, except I did not really learn. My dad's job involved entertaining government officials. My dad often took me to fairly boring official functions, and sometimes there were groups of teenagers around. So when some politician showed up with a girl around my age, I thought she was his daughter. I took her elbow and said, "Let us lead the old farts to their work dinner. The fun kiddie table is over there." Turns out she was his girlfriend. My dad turned pale and hissed at me, but later that night he said he actually wanted to applaud me. He gave me some extra spending money and said there was more where that came from if I kept blurting out that kind of thing, as long as I looked completely innocent about it. Monthly team meeting at work. Typical condescending human resources manager was asking the team, why are we all here? And why do we work? Meaning he wanted the typical to serve our customers with the best product possible. Answer. Me, being a dumbest 20-something-year-old, said, I have a car payment. I am no longer with the company. You have got a lovely tan. Where have you been? Them. I have jaundice. I should have stopped digging, apologized, and left at that point. But instead I said, oh, well, considering you are ill, you look very healthy. I was 15. Summer barbecue between a couple of close families. One of my 20-something brother's friends, who I knew to be an unsettled playboy, suddenly announced he was getting married. I, being a typically snarky teenager, said, when is the baby due? People were very angry, even though I was right. The baby arrived happy and healthy 5 months later. Too long, did not read. We were all Catholic. Edit 1. This has been up a couple of hours, and I did not expect it to get the reaction it did. Here's some extra context. It was a total, from the mouths of babes moment. They had not told anyone they were expecting, not their parents, not my brother. No one knew yet. She did not look pregnant. My brother's friends, the expectant father and groom, sister was in my class, and a good friend. Even she did not know. But we did know our brothers were having sex with their girlfriends. This was supposed to be their big moment. So to everyone but them, I looked like I was just being a brat and ruining things. And I was not supposed to even think people could have sex outside of marriage. When my brother found out I was right, a month later, he apologized and started talking to me again. It actually improved our relationship quite a bit. Even today, he still trusts my capacity to notice when something is off. I am turning notifications off now. I have a couple of nephews coming by to relax while they are on spring break, and I want to give them my full focus. I appreciate how many of you said you made a similar misstep. Edit 2. Made a couple of clarifications based on comments. To answer some questions, the couple got over it by the baby shower. They had siblings of their own. Yes, I was invited and attended. The wedding was a courthouse justice of the peace, just them and their parents. They are still technically married. They split not long after the child started school and live in different parts of the country. The child is grown and doing well. Mom went extremely angry when she found out I was right, tried to get more information out of me. But I was a teenage girl and had just been grounded. I learned my lesson and kept my mouth shut. That is it. Hope you got a laugh. We certainly do. My misstep has been retold to our kids. Notifications are off for good. When talking to a chiropractor at a party, I asked, so you believe in that then? She responded with something along the lines of, that thing I studied for 6 years? Yes, I believe in it. But it was overshadowed later when another guy made a joke about her having sex with a woman. And then it turned out she had recently come out, and he did not know. The guy who invented chiropractic said it was taught to him by ghosts. You are fine. I think a lot of men make this mistake once. I asked a coworker when the baby was due. She was not pregnant. She also is basically never friendly to me again. Despite my apology now, no matter how sure I am someone is pregnant, I make zero reference to it unless the person alludes to the baby somehow, or outright tells me. When I accidentally shared a very personal secret with the wrong people and saw the look on their faces, I realized that silence is golden. I was standing awkwardly at a 5-year-old's birthday party at a dojo with the other parents. I was making small talk with a lady who lives in my neighborhood. In my head thinking I'm being so charming and normal and fun, and look at me go. We were talking about how many kids we have. She said she has 3, and I said, I have 2. I always said I would only have 2 kids because I have 2 hands. Folks, the woman I was speaking with had one arm. My passport was set to expire the following week. I was good to go. We were going to a country that did not have any sort of restrictions if your passport was valid. However, we were stopped by the gate attendant at our home airline, and they spent 5 minutes verifying this. My anxiety was through the roof. We boarded our first plane to Texas. No problem. While we were waiting to board for Costa Rica, my wife went to the bathroom, and I went to the United Airlines kiosk to let them know the situation and make sure I did not go through that again. They did not let me board. And that is how I ruined our honeymoon. Years ago, I was a kitchen manager at a gourmet pizza place. It was a franchise and definitely not gourmet, but it was a fun and interesting place to work most of the time. Anyway, we also did salads and hoagies and things. So we had a flat top to run the sandwich line. I got transferred to another store and had what appeared to be an absolute train wreck of a guy that ran the grill station most nights. He was in his mid-30s, and you could absolutely tell that this guy did not have his life together. Very crass, face tattoos, former drug problems, virtually unemployable outside of a few very specific industries, without a stellar curriculum vitae, education and experience, you name it. Honestly, what career kitchen worker does not have their personal problems? I get it. I really do. Come to find out, he was hired a week before I was transferred. He was actually a killer line cook, but made numerous mistakes throughout service. When I was on the line, I primarily worked expo. I noticed after a while that the only mistakes from him came on the tickets that had modifications. I pulled him aside one night and asked him what was up. Every single stock menu item ordered was perfect, plated beautifully, perfect portioning to keep my food costs in check. But as soon as a modification came in, he did not know what to do with it. He told me that he was hired a week before I was transferred, and a week before that he was released from a 20-year prison sentence. He laid his heart out to me that he had a really rough childhood, filled with every kind of abuse you could imagine, and got roped into some stupid and harmful things when he was 16 and was tried as an adult due to the charge and sent away. I never knew what the charges were and did not ask. The guy was clearly trying to put it behind him to move forward and to try to get his life together so he could be there for his kids. Apparently conjugal conceptions towards the end of his sentence. I did not ask further questions, in a way that his family was not there for him. I respected that, but I still had a kitchen to run. I told him that he was a great worker, and I could tell he had the best intentions. But we had to try to mitigate the number of mistakes with tickets that have modifications, especially because somebody that modifies their order is much more likely to ensure their order is correct and complain if it is not. He told me that he only had a fleeting experience with the school system. My words, not his, and never really learned how to read, let alone interpret abbreviated modifications on a ticket. He told me that his best friend from early childhood managed to get out of the situation they were in while they were growing up, and the friend's wife actually worked there on the salad and pantry station. She helped him learn what the menu items were and how to build them, but that we were so busy she could not oversee every item that he made, and that is why he made the mistakes. He did his best to try to get it right, but he literally could not understand what the ticket was if it was not just a stock order. I always tried to make a set schedule for my staff as much as possible, and I organized with my general manager to make sure I was on as many shifts as possible with him. The industry does not always work like that, but I tried, and the vast majority of his shifts were my shifts. Every ticket that came into the kitchen when we worked together, I made sure to give him a shout and say what the modifications were. After every shift, we would take a half hour to go through the standard operating procedures and manuals, and I would teach him to read a bit more through them so he could learn more and also be more effective. I also walked him through my nightly financial reporting to help him be a bit more financially literate as well. 6 months later, I helped him study to get his heating, ventilation, and air conditioning certification. A few weeks after that, he came into the store on his day off one day an absolute blubbering mess. The man, this hardened criminal, as he had always thought of himself, took the test, passed, and was hired with a regional heating, ventilation, and air conditioning company, making more than I was as his boss starting out. He could not keep it together in the slightest. He told me that he could never repay me for the compassion, patience, and opportunity I had given him. He told me that if I ever needed anything or was ever in any trouble to let him know. I told him that if I ever needed the kind of help he was implying, to leave me on read. Let me deal with my own problems and consequences. The best thing he could possibly do is exactly what he wanted to do. Be a better father and provide a better support system for his kids than he was offered, and to break the cycle of abuse that he endured. I told him not to worry about me, and that I was happy I was able to help. I wished him good luck. I saw him a few times after that. He told his new bosses about his experience at my restaurant, and we catered a few lunches. His new bosses became regulars because he really was a kick-ass person. He recommended they come and dine with me, and they respected and appreciated him too, so they listened, and we built a rapport. I left that company about 15 years ago. I still think about that guy all the time. I hope he and his kids are doing well, but I did all I could to help with where I was at the time. I have since left the industry entirely. But I am continually amazed by the people I have met and what they have overcome. Food service truly is a crossroads for all kinds, and the things that make me feel the most warm and fuzzy are not the places I have worked and the dishes I have made, but the people that keep the gears turning. You never know what someone else is going through. A little patience and compassion go a long way. Thanks for watching. Write in the comments what awkward situations you've gotten into because you couldn't keep your mouth shut. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and see you next time.